Good morning. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, Tim. Let me know if you guys hear the audio fine, the video fine. We still got a few minutes before actually starting. Just want to make sure we're not having any video or audio issues. Tim, you're able to comment on the right side. I don't think we've been in one of these together, Tim. I'm going to invite you on screen as well as Josh, as I know he's anxious to get on screen. Josh rejected. I've been trying to learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube while waiting for this Hangout. Oh, well, hopefully you have more success solving this one than the Rubik's Cube. Tim, I just invited you to hop on. Who else is with us? Pedrito. How are you, Pedro? I just invited you on screen, Pedro. So I'm not here by my lonesome. Thanks for turning out, everybody. It's a Saturday morning. I guess I know who my real early birds are. We have got about a minute or two. If you guys have some questions regarding Amazon self-publishing or anything like that, just ask them in the sidebar so I can try to cover them in this. But Vinny, you know what's coming next. Invite. Let me tell you, it was a scary one this time. It was 3 minutes till I think nobody was here. I thought all that talk about getting up early, mobile, no. All right, no worries, man. I think Pedro's accepting. Here we go.
What's up, Carlos?
How's it going, Pedro?
Good.
What are you doing?
Not much, man. Just been up for a few hours now. Was looking online for some items and stuff.
Sourcing?
Yeah, trying to get my metrics down. I'm at 8%, so.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. Feed the beast.
Yeah, man, you got to keep it moving.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we are at 9 a.m. All right. I guess first thing is just help one secretary get on the Amazon wheel earlier on the meetup. Helping people change lives is great. Yeah. Get on the Amazon wheel earlier on the meetup. Oh, you did your meetup this morning, Vinny? Oh, nice. How many showed up? Hey, before we get into the Amazon self-publishing stuff, if anybody knows anybody in the Philly area, right, Vinny? Philly? In the Philly area, whether you're watching this video live or later on a replay, maybe Vinny can plug her link. Maybe Vinny can plug his link. Vinny's a guy. Maybe Vinny can plug his link for the Philly meetup group in here. And if anybody sees it, we totally vouch for Vinny and whatever spot he picks. Where did you pick? Hopefully like a cool coffee shop. That's awesome though, man. One of them turns up. That's how you start it, with one. Just there's going to be times no people show. Some of my meetup groups I showed like weekly ones. I showed up for a month and a half before. Yeah, don't text. Don't worry about it. So I showed up for like a month and a half before you see any like people coming, and then not everybody will like what you got to say. You just got to stick with it. If you believe in what you're doing, you stick with it and you'll persevere. I'm a firm believer in that. All right.
Pretty much you just got to be consistent.
Yeah, consistency is key. What you don't want is, like, if somebody has a free time, say on a Saturday, and they want to attend, you don't want them to say, where are they having a meetup? That you want to know. You need to get it in their head that you're consistent and like, oh, let me go to that Saturday one that's here. That's what works. Like, it's a consistent thing where they can go feed their mind with some good stuff. So Amazon self-publishing. Pedro, I don't think you're self-published yet. I'm assuming because you're here, you're interested in learning something about it. Let me see who else is here. Josh, I know you're interested. I just said you, Pedro. Vinny, I think Vinny's interested. Vinny is interested in everything Amazon and everything e-commerce or just money-making activities. So that's awesome. And Ursula, good morning, Ursula. Glad you're here. I'm going to send you an invite to jump on screen with us if you would like. No pressure. It'd be cool if you did. Not sure if we met or if this is like your crowdcast name or whatnot, but if you have not joined our Facebook group, you can do so with the link that's right there in the middle where it says join our Facebook group, and accepted and connecting. Ursula's connecting. Be good to meet. All right, so I guess first things first, this is going to be a bi-weekly event virtually for Amazon self-publishing. As some of you know, I already do a local bi-weekly event. So on the Saturdays that I'm not doing the local one, we'll do this one. They won't necessarily be the same topics, although there could be some overlap. So I know, Timmy, I know you attend our weekly physical meetup all the time. So there may be a little overlap, but not much. The idea is it's our group, and the topics we discuss in the group can be decided on by us. So chime in like ideas for topics to talk about regarding Amazon self-publishing. I'll go over like a lot of the really basics in this one, but we can also, I'm comfortable answering any questions you have regarding Amazon self-publishing. I know we have a lot of other people in this group that will be coming that could not make it this Saturday, but Ursula, I see you're accepted and connecting, but then you just disappeared from down below. So I'm going to do this. Therefore, you can get back in. All right. The one thing I wanted to clear up is, does 9 a.m. work for everybody? So I'll create a little poll afterwards so everyone can chime in on the times that works for them. But 9 a.m. is beautiful for me. But I'm thinking we'll do this from 9 to 10, or eventually get this from 9 to 11, where we have like a 9 to 10 topic of the week, and 10 to 11 is maybe a Q&A regarding those topics, or just kind of like ask anything type of stuff regarding Amazon self-publishing, and we can talk about it, answer it there, and kind of like mastermind it, if you will, so that the idea being at the end of each one of these meetups, you have an actionable thing you can act on to advance your Amazon self-publishing goals. Even if you're just in the beginning and you're like, well, I can't write, I don't know what topic will sell, I don't know why I should pick a topic, should there even be a reason, like all those questions. So and we'll try to address some of those today. But even if resolving one of those every week or every other week gets you closer to your Amazon goals, I feel like it'll be worth it. So a little bit about Amazon self-publishing. Amazon, as we all know, is a place where people can sell their goods or buy goods. If you're a seller, you say sell goods first and then buy goods, but the rest of the world is a place where you can buy goods. And for us, we've learned that we can also sell goods on Amazon at great profits. So Amazon is a disruptor business. And one of the industries that they successfully disrupted, and what they do is they go in, they disrupt the business with a greater plan in mind, and then they take over that industry. I don't think they're ever going to get into a problem of like, what do you call it when it's an antitrust? I don't think they're ever going to get into that, because each time they disrupt an industry, it is so that the consumer or the end user has a better benefit, whether it's receiving it quicker, whether it's receiving it at a more affordable price, or a combination of them both. Well, that's the same approach they took to publishing. Previously, if you wanted to publish a book, it was a combination of luck. It's the chances are you were not going to make much money from your book. You weren't going to get it in stores, and when you did, you would receive a very small percentage of that book with Amazon, and also the book would be sold at an expensive price. What's going on, Pedro?
I'm trying to make some coffee right quick.
Okay,
I'll have you up. Yeah, you see, you're ready.
Yeah. So with Amazon self-publishing, Amazon got in, disrupted the industry, and we're like, look, we want to. Remember, Amazon started as a book selling platform. Amazon got in there and decided they wanted books to be sold more affordably to customers, and they wanted to promote reading. So they got into publishing. Now, within Amazon self-publishing, there's a lot of different things, if you will, or departments within there. You have their Kindle, which they own the actual Kindle reader and the majority of the market when it comes to ebooks. They're not the only one in the ebooks. Obviously, there's the Nook and a few others, but Amazon is the 800-pound gorilla in that industry. So they have the ebook, which is the Kindle. They have Audible, which is a downloadable stream of audio books. They have the version called CreateSpace, which is, let me see. They have CreateSpace is confusing to describe, but most of the times when you hear me talk about CreateSpace, what I'm talking about is basically print on demand. And that is, let's say you have a manuscript, whether you wrote it yourself or it was a ghostwriter, and we can get into ghostwriters in a bit, but you're able to upload that doc once it's formatted and edited correctly, which is very easy to get done. Notice I didn't say do. It is not very easy to do, at least for me, because I'm not techie like that. I'm not good with the formatting. This is something you sub out to a virtual assistant easy on something like Upwork or Fiverr. But if it's formatted and edited correctly, you're able to upload it and within a few short hours have it available worldwide to read on Kindle or as an ebook, an electronic book for anyone to read. Now, that same manuscript with very little tweaks regarding the formatting, you can also upload that to Amazon CreateSpace. And what that'll mean is, within a few hours, the ebook is available. With CreateSpace, within a few short days or sometimes a few hours, your book will be advertised on Amazon as ships from and sold by Amazon. And what that means is it's available in paperback. It'll show that you have a paperback book that's available. And what happens is when a customer buys it, Amazon will print the book, bind it, package it, ship it, and have it delivered to the customer within 2 days. That's insane. There's the days of needing to order 100,000 copies and having a garage or a home full of your copies that you need to sell so that you can survive is over. You can have your book available on paperback for anyone to buy and delivered to them in 2 days. You couldn't deliver it to them in 2 days affordably from your home and you're the author. Another cool thing with Amazon CreateSpace is that there's something called author copies. So let's say that you submit your book and you want copies of your own book so you can sell them. Say you have a speaking gig. Tim, I think we spoke about this before. If I'm remembering correctly, Tim, you were considering, using books as a way to further perhaps speaking engagements or your authority in a certain field. Having talks, letting everyone know they'll get a signed copy by the author. That's a huge thing. Offering your book free plus shipping. Those of you that are in the Entrepreneurs Book Club with me, the book that we're currently reading this month is .com Secrets by Russell Brunson. Well, amazing book, by the way, but he just came out with another book. And a lot of you guys, if you're on his email list, which I was or am, you'll notice that he just came out with another book that he's giving away free plus shipping. So he used ClickFunnels, which he's the CEO of, or you can use Lead Pages or any other series of landing pages. And he created this book giveaway for free And you get into the funnel by this book, free, who this guy is, and then you realize at the end you're paying for shipping. Now, what you're paying in shipping, he is profiting off of because media mail is not that expensive. But that's a totally other discussion. But the fact of the matter is he's giving value to his existing email list. He's building his tribe with these physical books. He's not redirecting. And in this case, I don't know that he is using Amazon CreateSpace. He might be using something else, but it would be the same thing. Like as he gets orders, he can place orders for what's called author copies from his publisher. Now, the author copies is with Amazon CreateSpace is once you've submitted your book, you somewhere between, depending on the book, depending on the size, depending on the color, depending on everything like that. And again, we're talking about physical books and not ebooks. You can order author copies, 1, 1,000, 721. The number doesn't matter, and the price doesn't change based on what you're ordering. As a matter of fact, if you order a great deal of copies, it will get cheaper. So let me say that. Yeah, it does if you order more. But for the most part, you're paying anywhere from like $1.85 to $2.25, something like that, per copy. Free shipping delivered to you. Can you have author copies shipped out to other people's addresses? Yes. Yes, you can. That's a good question, though, Josh. So, what you can have them shipped out to other people's? Yeah. So that's good. But so that's a good point because you can leverage their logistics and their shipping facility. You really don't have to get your hands dirty in this. Now, the issue is if you have them drop shipped from Amazon, then you're paying a shipping charge to have them drop shipped to them. Whereas if you have it shipped directly to yourself, you're paying free shipping to you. So you have to look at whatever you're charging the person for, free book plus shipping, if the shipping still makes sense for you at that time. But yeah, you can. Now, yeah. So getting those physical author copies is a really big deal. Another great thing with the author copies is that you can bundle them with your physical products, which is a new rule change that just came out. That's awesome, and I think it's beyond the scope of our first Amazon self-publishing group. But Pedro, what are you cooking, man?
Just finished doing coffee, Carlos.
All right, so
little bro.
You didn't invite us to coffee?
I should, man.
Okay, so you have author copy. So a CreateSpace, that's what's a really big deal. So when I say CreateSpace, I'm talking about a physical book that Amazon will bind, ship, package, and deliver to the person in 2 days that you don't have to buy a whole bunch of copies on. Another thing, though, and this is why I say CreateSpace can be like quote unquote confusing. It's confusing to describe, not confusing to use. By the way, Amazon CreateSpace is free. There is no monthly fee for those of you that are into Amazon Seller Central or are accustomed to a pro platform seller selling fee. There is no monthly fee. It is free. I highly suggest that everybody create your account. And this is me just with my extensive experience of dealing with Amazon. Amazon has a tendency to gate things or to put barriers up when not to prevent creators from creating, but marketers and Amazon sellers have a tendency to screw things up. They get in, they put in, shoddy work. Amazon has a knee-jerk reaction wanting to protect the consumer from, badly formatted or edited or just low quality, inferior work. I would not be surprised if in the future Amazon CreateSpace is certain barriers are put up. Whenever they do that, anyone that currently has an account is grandfathered in. So, take the time today. If anything we've said so far is it sounds like it might be interesting, even in the future, take a few moments to set up the account. You just need your business address. I think you can do it with your personal and your social, but you want to have your name, your business address. You can even connect the bank account later. In addition, once you've done that, the Amazon CreateSpace has an extensive resource library for you to get, their blog, their the Facebook page, actually, the Facebook group regarding Amazon CreateSpace is amazing. Go in there and go through that resource library. Now I'm going to get into why I think it's confusing to describe. To say that Amazon CreateSpace is a publishing house that prints books for you is a disservice. It does a lot more than print books. What is this? It does a lot more than print books. It will allow you to print audiobooks, physical copied audiobooks. So if you wanted your book to be an audiobook format, you can. Tim, I know for the public speaking and stuff like that, a really cool thing to stand apart is maybe like an audio companion, or create an audio book, which is what you want them to listen to. And you notice how, like, at the end of certain segments of your audiobook, which again, this segmenting it, breaking it up and putting all that, that's something that an audio editor would deal with. Like, you don't need to go out and learn to be an audio editor. If it's something you're passionate about, great. It's something that I'm passionate about. I've been meaning to put time into, especially since I want to get into the podcast space and a lot more audio stuff. And also a friend of mine, Pete, a friend of yours too, Elvin, he's constantly talking about, audio and editing and stuff like that. So it's staying in the forefront of my mind, and I'm thinking about it a lot. So I might tackle it, but what I'm saying is you don't need to go out and tackle this. This is a very easy task to sub out. But when you're going through the book, Tim, as an example, I've seen people do this, and perhaps you've seen it as well. Like, let's say it's a book about, getting your life back in order, positivity, or wealth management, or getting out of debt, whatever the case may be. And then the audio book is what they're listening to. And you ask them to pause throughout the audio book and refer to the workbook. And the workbook in this case would be the print-on-demand book that we just described. And it's broken down as to what parts they need to fill out. A lot of the times writing it down, like what are your goals and stuff like that, is what helps. And it gets the person engaged. So you can bundle the two. So you have physical books in CreateSpace. You also have physical audio books. You have Audible, which is the streamable audio. You have CDs for music. Say you're musically inclined and you want to throw some beats together, or you want to work with a family member that does it or something like that. You have CDs, you have music CDs that people can get and sell. Physical audiobook? Yes, physical audiobook. You'll see them.
It comes with a tape or CD-ROM?
That's
or like a regular
CD, like audiobooks, like you would pop in your car. Something you'd pop right into your car to listen to. So the difference, Josh, would be between one is an audiobook that you're listening to, similar like a podcast or an audiobook, pure audio. Whereas there's no physical disc present. Whereas physical audiobook is discs. A box that you open and it has discs inside that you can pop into a player and listen to. So yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is, rather than just look at it like that, look at it on how you can bundle the two and enhance one to the other. Like, there's people with audiobooks, there's people with physical books. There's not as many with, audiobooks with workbook companion type thing. Another great thing is for physical books, a lot of people don't realize is, again, it costs you nothing to have that book up there, and Amazon is a great place to sell your books. But again, going back to you, Tim, just because, if you guys have any like real life scenarios where you think the books would work, please chime in so I can use you as an example and kind of work it into what you're doing and how it could apply. But Tim, I know he's local to me, and great guy. We meet up regularly to discuss conquering Amazon and entrepreneurial things. But Tim, another cool thing is, and I've seen this done before, is somebody will submit a workbook or a walkthrough as part of a talk that they're going to give, and they have no intentions of really selling it on Amazon. they're using Amazon as just a print-on-demand publishing house. And what it is again, is an entire walkthrough, like question, answer this question type thing. And they get that and just pass out these workbooks at the beginning of one of their speeches or one of their talks. And it allows people to keep track of what's going on. So you ask a question in your talk and you're like, oh, put your answer right there. Walk with me through this. This is going to be your go-to. Pete, it's loud, man.
I don't know, man. My dog just barking.
Okay.
Random people like at the gate. It's kind of weird.
Okay. So
yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, so you have music CDs, you have physical audio books, you have Audible, you also have DVDs in the sense of movies. So let's say, and this is something, I work on, and that is, in addition to, selling online and stuff, I own some physical brick and mortar businesses, one of them being dance studios. So with the dance studios, you can, say, create an instructional series of dances. You can record them, have them put on video discs, put in a box, everything, the box artwork and everything. Amazon takes care of all that. And then you have physical movies or physical video discs that you can sell to people. That also is through Amazon CreateSpace.
Really?
Right. You get the idea where I'm going here. Now you could have a video or an audio companion that people can visually watch or listen to and have the book. You could have the same thing, one in video format, Tim, with you sitting there talking, or perhaps with a whiteboard. So people are getting like a double visual there, and they're kind of like in that teaching environment. And then you could also do the audio. Each one can come with a physical book, workbook. So now you have,
Carlos,
yeah.
Is there any extra fees for this to use this service, or is it like just free?
You're gonna pay. There's no fees to do it. There's when you sell, they're gonna get a percentage. Would I do that on YouTube, or would that be a video clip included through Amazon? Hold on, Pete. So yeah, first, there's no fees to set that up. You can upload the stuff. Now, when you sell, the money that the customer pays for that product, Amazon's taking their cut on, and every one of those services has a different fee to it. Obviously, the more work that's put in for them, the higher the fee. But it's zero fees on your part. If you ever wanted to get to the point where, say, you're not using their services and you just wanted to have your own stuff printed somewhere else and selling at your rate because, say, you think you can beat their fees, then you can do that in the future. But at least you're able to first test this.
Yeah, then
without money out of your
pocket.
If you see that you're selling, I'm selling 200 DVDs a month. Okay, I feel comfortable ordering a couple months worth, and I'll stock them myself and sell them on Amazon. But you don't want to go out there and buy hundreds of these DVDs, the videography, just everything that goes into it. It can be cost prohibitive. And then print your own stuff, and then you're dealing with the Chinese, or you're dealing with another company, and you have to make the little clamshell packaging. It's doable. It's very doable. It's just, I definitely wouldn't start that way if I were you. Not with the ease of entry that Amazon has created. So Tim, would I do that on YouTube, or would that be a video clip included through Amazon? I think you're using YouTube for video clips to promote the book and speaking engagements. You should use YouTube for advertising your stuff. Definitely. Clips work. Again, going back to Russell Brunson, just because it's, again, in the front of my mind, because I'm reading the book for the third time this month. And he did something really cool. I think it was with his newest book. He was doing it on Snapchat, and he would read some of it on Snapchat. Again, it's disappearing in 24 hours. You could build hype for your book that way. By all means, just because you have something on Amazon, do not use all the other marketing and marketing tools that you have at your disposal. YouTube is a great one. A YouTube channel with your speaking on it is great. Just try to repurpose it or reformat it, Tim, to where you're building an audience on YouTube, maybe for certain types of your content that it's free for them to watch and to hook them in, but it's not the paid content. Like you can't, you probably could, but you shouldn't do, say a 30-minute talk, right? Different levels of information. Definitely. So you need to have a consistent amount. You need to consistently put out both levels of content or different levels of content and different types of content, even if you're using, say, social, YouTube, and Amazon. The next thing that Amazon does, so we got music, we got video movies, which they call movies, we have Audible, and we have physical books. And the final one they have, and the most exciting as it is now available for everyone, as long as you create an account, is Amazon Video Direct. And that is, if you guys know Netflix, Amazon is making a run at Netflix, and I got my money on Amazon. But there's a lot of people that have entered this movie streaming space. There's Netflix, there's Amazon, who just won a ton of awards for their movies, and now there's Facebook. I don't know if you guys have a smart TV, but Facebook now has a TV app. So you're going on there, and Facebook's going to enter the arena of shows and movies and whatnot. Amazon is in that space now. So I would say how Amazon Video Direct worked, and to me this is very exciting, is that I'm looking here at my screen when I'm talking, and I just realized my video's over here, so I don't know if I've been looking the wrong way. The Amazon Video Direct's really cool. They pay you per hour streamed. That doesn't mean someone has to watch an hour. It's cumulative. So one person watches a minute, you get a minute's worth of that hour. You're capped at, and some people look at this the wrong way, you're capped at, I think you cannot make more than $75,000 per video per year. I mean, if you're reaching that cap per video per year, that is an amazing problem to have. Like you'll have the wherewithal to make that not a problem at that point. So don't look at that as a restriction. And that's per video, not per account. Do one video for each chapter in the book. That sounds good. Or maybe if I would say go a step further, if each chapter has perhaps several points that reinforce the topic of that chapter, I would maybe go in and do
like different characters.
I would go in and do different videos for each point. Oh, I see what you're saying. We're talking about a different thing. So if you have 10 chapters, then you can max out at 750,000. Sure. Yeah, that would be the way to do it. If it's 75, it's either 50, 75, but yeah, you get the point. Most definitely. There's a ton of workarounds for it, and that's one obvious one right there that Tim mentioned. There's also different languages. So you can start putting them in all these different languages. Oh, and mind you, these books, we're kind of looking at this just in one language right now. So with your physical books, they can be repurposed in different languages. Your audio books, different languages. Audible, different languages. You get what I'm saying? You go on and on. Your videos can be in different languages. Your content, Tim, can be redone in different languages. But now ending with Amazon Video Direct is what's really cool is one of the features that you can use on Amazon Video Direct is subscription based. And that is, say you want to put out content regularly and you have followers that watch it, but you can set up a subscription-based program to where people can only access it if they buy your subscription to that. So, and that's right there on Amazon Video Direct. They watch it from their sofa. They can watch it from their computer, their smartphone, anywhere they're at, they can watch it. More and more people are getting the Amazon Video Direct or Video Direct Prime. Excuse me.
That's a lot of different sources of money coming in.
Right. And that's if you're talking about one language. And then when you start getting into all the other languages, it can get
unlimited.
It's unlimited. It really is. What else with Amazon Video Direct? So you can get paid per hour streamed. You can get paid subscription based. You can get paid flat fee, meaning someone has to pay X amount of dollars for your video. In addition, other ways to get paid is you get paid 55% of all all ads that are converted on your videos. So while your videos are happening on Amazon Video Direct, there's ads. Anyone, and remember, Amazon's really good about serving these ads. They're serving ads to people that have previously viewed stuff that they're interested in buying on their site, and they're really good with that. They know, they're just putting in front of you the things that you're already looking at. But anybody that converts into a purchase from them, you make 55% commission. That's really good. So you have Kindle and you have CreateSpace. I think everyone should kind of understand why I say now that CreateSpace is confusing to describe. It's much more than just printing books, which is what it is mostly known for. And when I'm usually saying, Kindle or CreateSpace, I'm usually referring to the physical books that can be printed out on demand, not everything else. Although you should know, I just want everyone to know that there is a lot more. What else? Does anyone have any questions so far regarding like what we've talked about? How, again, like what part of your business you think this can get into, that you could apply this to, or you're struggling with figuring out how you can, before I just go on to something else. That way it would help. Tim, I know you have a question. Go ahead, Josh. Thank you. You too, Pete. Just because you're on video doesn't mean you get to avoid asking questions. Does our CreateSpace account need to be tied to our seller account? No. You can have the same login because it's an Amazon account, but it doesn't have to have the same login. I mean, Amazon's, the backside of Amazon's definitely going to know for bundling purposes, for example. Same answer. You can have the same Amazon account, but you don't have to have it. You can order, say, you could have one login for your Seller Central and you could have one login for your CreateSpace, and then your CreateSpace orders, say, 100 copies of your 100 author copies of your book that you want to bundle with product that you're selling on your Seller Central account. You can still
Is there like a word count minimum or page minimum that your book's got to meet a certain requirement or something?
I think it's 4 to 5 pages. It changes sometimes, but that would be an easy thing to look up on CreateSpace. I'm not positive of the number because usually the numbers, it's almost impossible to do a 4-page book because, I mean, just with the templates you're going to want to put in the front for like your copyright information, your contact me, a bit about the author. I mean, you're past 5 pages right there. So,
will you recommend selling?
Bundling with physical products can all be handled via FBA. Setting up another SKU would be required. Yeah, bundling. And again, the bundling of a CreateSpace book, the ability to be able to list against that ASIN is a brand new thing. We're talking about less than 6 weeks. It's been in a beta program for a while, but less than 6 weeks that you can do that. But yes, what would happen is you would have, say, you were selling this mouse. Cool story about this mouse, really quick. My wife needed a mouse, middle of the day. We said, hey, let's try out that Amazon like 1 hour or Amazon 2 hour delivery thing. And sure enough, we ordered the Amazon Basics mouse and it was delivered in like under 2 hours. Like they were ringing the doorbell. Really cool. That's crazy, isn't it? Like kept working. We just went on to something else. I'll revisit this in a bit, and they delivered the mouse. Really cool. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so you would need to get your author copy, get this product that you're selling, bundle it, and then you would need another UPC, and it would be a totally separate product listing. So yeah, another SKU, another UPC would be required, which is not a bad thing. Another thing you can do is bundle, if you want to create unique items that nobody else can sell, is let's say one of the people I used to follow a long time ago, and I still get his newsletter. He's not very, out there about his stuff. I love him. Always solid foundational stuff. Is a guy named Skip McGrath, and he has a monthly newsletter that's on point every month. It has been for years, but he is huge on creating unattainable bundles. And one of them he did a lot. Well, he used to be in the bundles to where he would get like a really hot item from one brand and a really good book from another brand, and then say a complementary product of another, and create this like ultimate bundle, take nice photos and have the listing. Now the chances are that, yeah, someone could go over here and get this and there and this and there and get that and then go through the bundle. But every time he made the bundle more complicated, as long as the bundle was of greater value to the customer, not just the bundle, that he had less and less competition. And then anytime he would get competition on it, he would just do something else. Now with your book, for the first time, I think you can actually create like you can't, nobody can compete against you. They can't even fake it. And that is, you're the author of the book. Amazon is the publisher of your book. And then you also have a physical product. They might be able to try to pirate your physical product, but when you're bundling it with your physical book, it's just, well, not even just a book. If you're bundling it with your book, if you're bundling it with your DVD set, say you have a product that's, your cost is $3 on and it's selling for $19.99. Getting a video created about the book, about the product and different ways to use it, and pitching it in that sense and bundling it with your product has all kind of potential. I mean, within the video, you could be building your list. Hold on, we got some more people that joined. Mike, let's invite Mike up on screen.
Can you do like animation videos with the create space?
And you can do videos, yeah, absolutely.
Like cartoons and stuff like that?
Yep, through CreateSpace, they even have a template where you can create comics, like actual comic books. If you wanted to do comic books, you can do comic books. Bundle with Josh. For clarification, we would need to have Amazon send us our author copies, then bundle them with our physical products, then send everything back to Amazon. Yes, if you wanted to use Amazon FBA. Yeah, if you wanted to use Amazon FBA, you'd need to resend it to them. At this time, they're not going to grab a physical product and a different product and a book. They're not going to grab a physical product and a book, bundle it, and then stick it somewhere else. Because remember, that new bundle needs to have its own UPC. Yeah. All right. Mike, I just invited you on screen. It says you're accepted and connecting. Let me know if you have any issues. All right. Any more questions?
This is out of the topic right now. Just wondering, are we still at Sasateros at 12?
At 1, yes, we are.
At 1.
Yeah, we still have the local meetup today. I figure this one will go, we'll have this first one be an hour. We can go over some, like I have time if we have a bunch of questions, but I definitely want to, before closing this one out, not that we're there yet, but go over different formatting suggestions that anyone has for future or for the next Amazon self-publishing video that will, self-publishing hangout that we'll have in 2 weeks, as well as perhaps the best way, I guess we can continue communicating through the Facebook group. The thing is that not everybody here is part of the Wizards of Amazon Facebook group or the Sellers Unite Facebook group. So perhaps by email, or a lot of you guys I know I can message, but to announce the different topics of the week. But you will see that this will always be the URL or the event for you to log into for this event. It's just a series that'll keep going. So anyone that's here,
That's a way that you turn on your notification on this, on the crowdfunding, and I'll let you know like days before. It'll pop up on your calendar on your phone. That's how.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely turn on notifications for this so that you can see future sessions that we're gonna have. I mean, some ideas on what we can talk about is like, well, do you guys all know like a good way to come up with a book? Do you have ideas on books you want to write? If you do, chime in below. But for the last, I guess, for the last portion of this, for us to before closing out, is I wanted to go over, you know, the different ways or the different reasons on why a person should, you know, get into self-publishing, and the different reasons and the different ways one can. So some of the reasons are, I mean, the one that immediately jumps out to most people is so that I can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money. This can also be an amazing, you know, passive income source. But when it comes to writing, it doesn't always have to be about the money. There's different ways to, sometimes people want to write just because they want to share knowledge and they enjoy teaching. Some people know or knowledgeable about a specific, you know, esoteric type thing, and they want to share it or get it out there. For some people like Tim, which I'm sure Tim might be a dual goal, is he would like to make money from his books, and he'll definitely try to make money from his books. But the book is what's going to position him as an authority in his field. That's going to land him speaking gigs, speaking engagements, where he might get the real money from. And that can, you know, so the book can be a pivot. The book in itself and your reasoning for doing it is a personal one. Again, I'm not saying that, you know, write books to not make money. Yeah, let's make money. But it doesn't, and this is my opinion and my experience. It does not have to be, your main goal does not have to be just to make money. It doesn't have to be, you know, pure mercenary like that. It can be just something you're passionate about, and it can be a vehicle for you to get that out. So a lot of the times and a lot of the focus in these, we'll be talking about, you know, just making money on that. And while I'm into both of them, I also have a passion for writing, and I'm a little bit all over the place. Like, I'd like to position myself to be a speaker. I'd like to position myself, well, to get speaking gigs. I'd like to position myself to be a greater authority in my field when it comes to marketing consulting. I would like to make money. And then I have a few things that I just think are my way of doing things that I really would like to put in, you know, written or audio format to share. So those are some of the really cool reasons on why you can get into Amazon self-publishing. So Mike says, ha, me too, all over the place. Yeah. Everybody else, like, chime in, or Pete, you just say it out loud, but like, what would be your reason for, what do you think your reasons are for getting into Amazon self-publishing? Now, some of the ways to get this done is another cool topic. And that is this particular crowdcast or series of crowdcasts about Amazon self-publishing is not going to be a writing course. Like, this is not where you're going to come learn how to, you know, write a book, how to improve your writing. I would like to say that my weakest subject is that, so I cannot teach you that. This group will be about, again, the reasons, the ways to go ahead and get your book published, get your book marketed once it's published, and the formatting of the books, different ways to build your tribe through your book. Oh, one of the other reasons we didn't cover on writing a book that's a popular one, and that is just, you know, building your tribe, list building. So, you know, making sure, like, let's say you have a product or you have an industry, or, you know, business to business, business to consumer, and you want to build a list. Ebooks is an excellent way to do that. Your ebooks can contain links that will redirect you to different spots. By that I mean, and some examples of that I mean, Tim, going into what you're talking about, like, let's say you have a chapter and the chapter has, you know, 8 points. You could, at the end of each point, for someone that's reading the ebook, let people know, if you're the visual type, you know, watch me map this out on a whiteboard, or watch a video of this so I can further explain it. And that link can redirect to, say, an unlisted video that other people can't see on YouTube, or perhaps Vimeo. I think Vimeo is a great one, because with the Pro Vimeo platform for this, I mean, YouTube's better for like the majority of what we're talking about. With like a Vimeo Pro, or with Amazon's video service or anything like that, you can remove all of the YouTube business labeling that's all around it, like the little watermarks and everything. With Vimeo, it can just be a video. Nobody will know where it's from. Not that there's anything wrong with YouTube, but a lot of times you see a YouTube video and you're thinking like, this isn't high end. This is YouTube, this is gamers and everything, just a suggestion. Now, I know some people that have some really high end products and they don't do that. But if you want to just totally eliminate it, maybe only have your business stuff on it, that would be one of the ways to do it. So, who just joined? Tim, everybody still here? Okay, thought somebody joined. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the link. So at the end of each paragraph, they could be redirected to a link. They could also be redirected to an email list. They could be there could be a link for them to click on, and instead it takes them to a private Facebook community. So nobody can get in this unless they purchased your book. When you do it that way, it gives you an additional selling point for your book. So you're going to let people know, like, you get buy this book at this price. You get every update I do on this book for life, which is another point. You can always go into your books and just update them and resubmit them. You can't do that any other way. Like, if someone has an ebook and you update it, they get the updates. That's crazy. You can have someone buy your physical book and then let them know if they want to receive updates for life on this book. Give them a link, and that link will put them on an email list. And every time you upload something to change to, your book can be a living document. That when things change, your book changes. So it's always relevant. It's always current. And whenever that happens and you do an update on your book, you can notify them via email. So they're getting an update for life. So even though they had a physical book, you're able to keep them current via an email list. The email list is also very important. If you guys don't already know, when you're getting people in your Facebook community or your email list, because you can create custom audiences from that. For retargeting purposes. The screen's flashing down here like somebody new has joined, but I don't see. So in case I missed you, I don't see your name. Tim, so that's a real good one. At the bottom of your ebooks, it can link into anywhere. A popular one that I'm talking about a lot lately, and you guys are going to hear me talk about a lot more probably in the future, is Facebook Messenger. So let's say you're talking about something and you want to promote a service that you have, and the customer's probably going to have, or the reader's going to have a few questions before they kind of pull the trigger on your service. You can have them click on a link that will immediately open them up in a messenger, a Facebook Messenger chat with you. Imagine that somebody buys your book. You're doing your thing throughout the day, and somebody buys your book somewhere else in the world, and they click on this link, and you and them in real time right there are having a conversation via Messenger. And via Messenger, you're able to let them check out. You can close a sale there. That can turn into a video chat with a click of a button. There's invites to other things. So the power there is very powerful. So
pretty much you can interact with your clients, right? Interacting with potential customers.
Mm-hmm.
We have, which just relate to them.
It's a really big deal. Just because if your book is wildly successful and you have a ton of people hitting that messenger thing, you may need to set something up with something like ManyChat to where you're able to reply to everybody that's wanting to communicate. Otherwise, people write to you and you're not able to write back, and then you'll have a very disgruntled customer. But some of the ways to do this now is one of the things Josh just said is a ghostwriter, and that is you have two paths in the beginning that you have to decide. You can do both, but when you're working on a project when it comes to this, and that is, are you going to write it yourself, or are you going to have it ghostwritten? And by ghostwritten, my mean is hiring a writer online through a service like, guru.com, upwork.com, fiverr.com, and giving them a brief, how to hire a virtual assistant, a ghostwriter, or anything like that would be, I think, a great topic for another time. It's a very deep topic. There's a lot into it. If it's a topic that you guys would like to talk about, we can definitely have that as a topic for probably a few sessions in the future. But you're going to hire a writer, and once you hire the writer, you let them know, you give them a brief is the best way to do it. You give them a brief saying something like, Doritha, who's actually, I'm sure will be in some of these future sessions with us in the virtual, she has over 130 books written on topics like paranormal, erotic romance, and a lot more very niche things that she writes about. And she's never written any of the books. But what happens is you have to put together a brief. So you have an idea of what you want to put the book out on. And again, what you're going to put the book on could be based on research, and researching a niche to write about is another topic that we can get into. I would like to, after I talk about some of these ways to get the book written, do maybe a quick screen share on just one of the very basic, easy ways to go about writing, getting a book or a brief put together. Just to give you an idea, this is not that, it wouldn't be the method that you always use, but it's just a suggestion to show you that it's very doable. And that is, okay, so you choose whether you're going to write the book or whether you're going to have a ghostwriter write the book. And with the ghostwriter, you give them a brief, and they then write out a book on the brief. You let them know how many words you want the book to be, how you want it to begin, kind of how you want it to end. And by that, I don't mean I want it to begin with once upon a time, and I want it to end with the end. That's not what I mean. How you want it to begin. If it's a romance novel, maybe, wealthy entrepreneur, widow is at the beach, meets such and such person that was walking by. And it kind of ends with, they have 4 kids, are divorced, and you know what I mean? Like, you get the idea, and they fill in all the gaps on how to
just pretty much give them a theme and like the main ideas and purpose and stuff like
right.
that.
If you have several characters that you feel are very important to support your niche, kind of write a paragraph or two about each of them. And then you give that. The more information, not the more book you wrote, but the better your brief is, the better the writer is going to be able to put together what you want. And again, structuring a great brief is another topic that we could really pour over. These topics are going to work a lot better also when everyone is kind of engaged and knows in advance what the topic's going to be. So we have a lot of actionable stuff to work on in these virtual hangouts. I still have my list of newbie questions. We'll start asking them now if you want, but I don't have the Facebook thing in front of me, Josh. What was the other one? All right, so that's the ghostwriter version, and then it would be, if you go the ghostwriter version, the ghostwriter path. In addition to if you're on the ghostwriter path, you're probably going to want, a really nice cover created. Choosing the cover is something we can go over too, but you get a nice, cover artwork created. That cover has a big impact on the book sales. So then you want to hire somebody that can edit the book, can format it properly for a format that is compatible with Amazon. These are easy people to find to get to do these things, and it's very affordable. Going the ghostwriter route, say under 100,000 words with a really nice cover and everything, formatting and editing, everything done. You put the brief together. Again, this really depends on the quality of the writer you're getting, but you can get a good enough writer and pull that whole thing off for under $300. I would say you can even get it to $200. So getting an entire book out like that, which you can then repurpose, and that would be the same thing you're uploading can go to Kindle and it can go to CreateSpace. So you're going to have two things to sell for under $300. The turnaround time for something like that, again, a lot of it depends on the writer. You're looking at a week. You can have this done in less than a week. Obviously, initially, if all of this sounds just completely foreign to you or unbelievable to you, you're probably going to spend a few weeks just figuring out, formulating your own questions. You might take a week on just figuring out how to hire a writer. So once we get past those things and you're confident on how to approach a writer, what to look for, what questions, what formatting do I need to ask them for? Ideally, you should be able to have a book cranked out per week if that's the route you wanted to go, the path. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with the combination of them both. I think you should take a look at your books and make sure they're what you want. If you're putting out, you don't have to, but if you're putting out, 4 to 6 books a month, and that's a lot of reading to do on your own just to make sure that they're right. So it's a full-time business model when you get to that point. The other path, and it's one that I'm equally passionate about, and that is writing your own books and not having a ghostwriter write them. Even if you go the path of writing your own books, and even if you're a English professor, I would say you still want somebody else to edit your books and format your books. Even if you're a writer on your books does not mean, unless your book is about graphic design and you're a graphic designer, I suggest hiring out the artwork for your cover. It's not something else you need to have on your plate. Again, unless you're having a book on your art and your graphic design, and it would probably be good if you were the one that created your design work for your cover. But so if you are writing the books, your strong suit is probably the topic that you're writing about or that you're passionate about, and you want to focus on just your writing. You'd still want to deal with an editor, a formatter, and cover designer.
If you have a series of like 3 books or 4 books, how long in between before dropping the second, third book?
That's a heck of a question. You have a series. There is no, I would say with the old publishing model, you'd notice that publishers waited years between books. I think that was more because, and this is an opinion, I think that was more because the process of making it happen was so long. There was book tours, there was giving stores an opportunity to sell their minimum order quantities, there was the printing, there was everything like that, that putting out 2 books at the same time would have just been bad for business. Nowadays, though, if you have a series of 4 books, I would say put them all out there. You could put them all out there
the same year
at the same time if you had all of them written. The thing is, when someone, and again, this happens a lot with like fiction fantasy or fantasy, romance, gardening, and most other books, when you read a book by an author and you really like it, or you like it, you're going to want to read their other stuff. And if there's nothing else available, then they move on to another author. At that point, you need to hope that, they're following your author page, they're in your email list somehow for you to notify, or your Facebook group to let them know that you have another book coming out. But if you had the books available, you could again make them make them aware of that in the back of your book or in the front of your book or throughout your book about, see part 2 or see so-and-so avenges his whatever. Like, you could do that. So I don't think there's a disadvantage of having all your books out there. Remember, all of your books also don't have to be under the same author name, whether you're ghostwriting or writing it yourself. You will have different pen names or different author names. They don't have to be your name. So let's say you are on this applies to the ghostwriter path or yourself. Let's say, anonymity is which this might apply to Josh really good, my close friend Josh, who refuses to come on video. Say anonymity is more valuable to you than any money you're going to make from the book. Or for whatever reason, you could have the books written, and instead of the animal romance novel written by Josh, for all of his friends and family to see Josh just wrote an animal romance novel, the book could be written by someone with a totally different name. And therefore, Josh would be able to handle the marketing from it, receive royalties from it, but preserve his anonymity. You can have an unlimited amount of author names. You're only allowed to have 3 author pages. Is it legal? Absolutely legal. 100%. Yeah.
Can you
animal romance? I think you're going towards bestiality. All I was saying was like an innocent little animal romance thing. Josh, I think you went to bestiality. Just playing.
Would you recommend doing a meetup if you have like a local? Let's say your book is already out. You have a few followers. Building a meetup in order to have like a signature autograph section for your book. Would that be a good idea?
I think Meetup's an awesome tool that you should use in nearly any business you're doing. But creating a meetup for the sole purpose of having people come receive a book that you're signing seems a bit like, I would be concerned that it comes across as a bit arrogant.
Oh.
Like, no one's going to be like, really? This guy wants me to go on my time to go over here and just sign and receive a copy of his book, and I could hear him talk about his book. Now, if you built up a bunch of books and you built up a Facebook community and you let them know that you had a meetup group about that topic, or for additional ideas on where the fantasy novel is going to go, or who wants to have an impact in a fantasy novel that's coming out or a different novel that's coming out, and I'll put your name in the credits, so to speak. Like, you might have some people showing up for that. Just make it about us and not you with Meetup. That's a big thing. Meetup is a group community thing. Well, some questions up here. Carlos, there's book promotion services out there that send out our ebook to thousands of people. Have you used them? If so, what's been your experience? I've personally not used some of the other services. There's some decent ones out there. I found that none of them, come close to holding a candle to what you can do with Amazon. And yeah, on what you can do with Amazon. That's been my experience. I think a lot of the times that people use some of them, they don't know that there is a tool available on Amazon that will do all that, like Kindle Select and stuff like that. That's my experience. Also, where do you hire writers? Huge fan of Upwork.com. I'll put it here. Upwork.com. I'm also
Fiverr.
I don't like Fiverr for writers. Not to say you can't find one. As a matter of fact, Camilo, who is not in this group right now. Let me see. Yeah, Camilo, who's not in this group right now, found one or two on Fiverr and does well with them. I like the people they get from Upwork to be native English speakers if the book's going to be in English. I've noticed that there is I
think Fiverr is more like outsourcing India.
The thing, Fiverr has its place and you can find a writer there. I guess what's more important is that you, is the hiring process of them. Let's say this, if the person's from China, English is not their first language, but they can go and you have your hiring process. or your processes for hiring a writer, and they pass all of them, then there's no absolutes here. Just in my experience, that's been it. Let me see. I'm going to write from Tim. I'm going to write part of my book, then have at least one ghostwriter write part of it and suggest how to rewrite some of my writing. That's an interesting tactic. Basically collaborating with at least one pro writer to refine my writing and suggest how it could be written better, how it could be better. I think that's really good. With physical products, you have a launch group, which I'm a huge advocate of. Let me clarify, not a group of people that are just willing to write to buy your book and leave a review or to trick the algorithm or nothing like that, but a launch group of people that are, well, you have a launch group and you have a test group. So it's a totally different group. A launch group is the people that are really into your book and are willing to buy it as soon as it comes out, maybe at a discount. And your test group is people that can honestly critique your book. So someone like that needs to be someone that reads, someone that's kind of interested into your topic. So they're willing to read it a lot because they're probably going to read several revisions. And and someone that's knowledgeable of your subject matter, so to speak, unless it's something like a how-to for dummies, because then you probably want people that are not knowledgeable in your subject matter because they need to be able to see the info you gave for dummies and become knowledgeable with it. So yeah, both those groups are important.
Do you recommend giving a free book to the test?
I think for the people that are going to help you refine your book by critiquing it, I think it's good to give them, and a lot of the times it's more than enough to let them know that you're going to give them a shout out in the front of your book for all the help, kind of like this book would not have happened without, and go in there and write something really nice for them. Like that's enough for them so that they can go show their friends like, hey, look, like I was instrumental in making this book what it is. It's a powerful thing. A book is a really big deal to people. I can't paste all of my questions here because there is a character limit. Oh, well, we could ask our question. Remember, guys, even after this video, we can leave questions here in the comment section and I can go back and listen to them or see them and then cover them in future sessions. What I'm trying to stay away from is creating another Facebook group that is just for Amazon publishers. Only because, for me, it would be great. Only because I know for some of you, it's like, oh my God, another Facebook group. So if you guys think, communication for this subject would be better and we having our own Facebook group on the topic, I would love to create one. And we could do all of our announcements for crowdcasts and stuff like that there. Or if you guys are in the Wizards of Amazon Facebook group, we can definitely communicate there. That would be another question. Do you guys want to start our own Facebook group community for this particular topic? Looks like 9 a.m. is a good time to have our bi-weekly meetups, virtual meetups regarding the subject. Yeah, so let's definitely, you guys, I need your guys' input on that so that we can, this is a group for us all to benefit from. And I know there's a lot of interest in this group. I'm really happy that it looks like we had, let's see how many, five people showed up let me see, registered of 16. So there's a lot of interest in this group. It's really going to grow. And let's see who's attended. Let me see. Attended and live. Yeah, a lot of people. Again, I think some people are maybe going to look at this on the replay as it is Saturday at 9 o'clock, but the early bird gets the worm. We're coming up on the hour and a half mark. I don't want to keep everybody here too long on a Saturday. And I also have I can do this as long as 2 hours, and then I have to go set up for the local meetup that's going to happen at 1. But if anyone has any other questions, I'd love to cover them now. Tim, anything Amazon self for romance is the standard pay for writers, $1 for 100 words, penny a word. That's standard. Yeah. I mean, that's on the low end. That's on the low end of, I guess you could say, normal. For those of you that want to write your own books, and again, this applies to me, but just in case there's anyone that was in the same predicament as me that wants to write their own books or has what they want to write in their head, but they can't really get it out onto paper or onto a Word document. Find an audio recording device. I'm a fan of Dragon Dictate. I'm also a fan of the Dragon Nuance program. And then just wait for you to be in your zone regarding the subject matter, wherever that may be, and turn it on and just rip away. Just pour everything out that's in your head. You can definitely talk a great deal faster than you can writing. And then you can have, well, for Dragon Dictate, you hit a button and it will just transcribe everything into writing for you. And that way you're sitting with an audio document and a transcribed document at the same time. But that format works a lot for me since I struggle to get it from my head out onto paper. Another cool one is if you're going to be doing YouTube videos, perhaps on book matter, but at a different level, there's an amazing tool. Here, I'll put it here, rev.com. And there's also a few more that I could recommend if you like rev.com that do a few things a little differently than Rev, but Rev's a really great one. And what it is every time you can even automate it, so every time you upload a YouTube video, Rev will go in and transcribe the entire audio of the video that you uploaded, transcribe the entire audio into text. And they charge $1 a minute. So you're looking at $60 for a 1 hour video. There's some other good ones that are really good and that are a little more affordable that are coming out now to kind of compete with Rev. And if you guys are interested, I'll send some of those links to some of those other services here. But the idea is when you're doing this to be able to repurpose, use it for more than one thing. You could always use your audio, even if you didn't want to get into audiobooks, as the stuff you're going to be using for your podcast. If you wanted to get into podcasting, if you think you're going to be into audiobooks a lot, then the people that listen to audiobooks are usually into podcasts. So you kind of gotta think about that. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here. Jim, what's up, Jim? Good seeing you here. I'm going to wrap it up here. It's coming up on the hour and a half mark, unless Jim has any questions. So, Jim, you can see the replay if you'd like. And we were just saying, should we create a different Facebook group specifically for the topic? I'll let you guys decide that. If so, I'll definitely create it. The next virtual meetup for this group is going to be in 2 weeks. I will give you guys a chance to post some of your questions and stuff in here as to what that topic's going to be. But I would like the topic to be announced at least like 7 to 10 days in advance of the next meetup. So if I don't hear any questions from you guys as far as like what would be a good topic, I'll just pick one. I'm leaning more towards the, marketing strategy behind the book. Like what you should think of, say you were looking at your book that was totally written. Now what? Like, where should I put links? Like, what kind of strategy should I be doing with my book to either grow my grow my tribe of followers or readers or email lists or Facebook community and stuff like that. So if I don't hear a topic from you guys before then, I'll just pick that one. All right. Well, I'm going to go. A lot of you, I will hopefully see at 1 o'clock for the local meetup dealing with VA processes and how you can use them to build your Amazon business. It's been real. Later, everybody. Have a good weekend.